Back with another one. New year, new us.
New you?
Nah, not really. Same me. I'm the same,
No,
but
I'll say same, but just more motivated.
just a little extra. Oh, more motivated.
More
Where
motivated.
did that extra motivation come from?
Motivated. I feel like just each new year is just a new time to kind of double down on like how you were the previous year, especially like if you were on track to accomplish those things that you want for yourself. So just like a new time to like kind of double down on that for sure.
So it takes for the government constructs of hypnotizations of a new year for you to be motivated. Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh my
We're
God.
here, back and better. It's a new year. Umar and I, Common
Yep.
Sense, same us, same podcast, just big and better.
For sure, for sure. You can see the production looks a lot better
Yeah,
in person.
Yeah, we're in person. In person is always cool. I mean, this episode is our first of the year, but it should have been the last of the year, but one of us decided to travel.
Hey, see, I was working hard all year and I felt December was a perfect time to reward myself. And so I went to Nigeria.
All right, okay. It's cool. I'm
Oh,
not judging.
it was a good trip though. I had a good time. I feel like it was a good reset. And now we're back to work.
Back to work for sure. All right, I'll go ahead and get us started then.
For sure, for sure.
Cool. Welcome to episode 5 of CommonCentsPod, where we're documenting our journey as two first-generation Nigerian-American millennials, trying to figure it out financially, and hopefully we can all learn a thing or two as we embark on this journey. I'm your host, Dami, and here's my co-host, Umar. Today's conversation will be around financial resources.
Yeah, I think this is a good one starting off the year for sure. Just providing people with the resources that we've used over the years just to keep ourselves knowledgeable when it comes to finances, money, stock market, all of that put together. Just discussing the resources that we've used, pretty much. How about you? How you feel? How you
Yeah.
feeling about our topic?
No, yeah, this is a good topic to start the year off. If everybody's motivated like you, then they might find some information. They
I
might
mean,
say for information.
It's definitely like we said, like it's definitely like people are in that mindset
Yeah.
that it's a new year. They're trying to
Everybody
form new habits.
Everybody spent all their money for the holidays. Now they're trying to get some new money.
Exactly.
It's
But
okay.
I mean, just starting off, we want to say that these are resources that we've used. So we're not saying that these are the only resources that you can use. Like these are not laws. We're just sharing what has worked for us, and hopefully, like you can find some value in them as well. We're just providing some type of values for people to use moving forward.
Yep. And just like on our intro, we're just hoping that we can all learn a thing or two as we show you our journey, and that's really what this is. So please don't hold us to it.
Don't come in the comment and be like, no, that's not a good resource. We don't need any of that.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess kicking the topic off, talking about financial resources, why do these matter? Not just financial resources, but why do solid sources, why are they important?
I think they're important because typically people are not necessarily taught how to manage money or how to manage their finances. I think it's more of just like you're put in a position where you can learn from, or you just found some type of resources after making a couple of mistakes. And that happened to be the latter for me, just knowing that I can be doing something better with my money. And I went on my own to kind of find the resources that's helped me get to where I am today. And so to prevent those mistakes early on, like from losing a lot of money in the stock market or just not managing your finances properly, I think that's why it's important to know what the right resources are. So you can set that, you can have that solid foundation starting off that sets you up for the future and put you in a better position financially.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's if we go back to like being in school, like when you write papers and when you were doing essays and stuff, like teachers were always big on the cite your sources. And when you cite your sources, a lot of times they check your sources because they want to make sure that the information you're putting here is not only verifiable, but it's correct. And that's kind of what we're thinking in this conversation is we want to use sources with our journeys. We want to make sure we're using sources that are verifiable, sources that have correct information, especially in this age that we live in now where people just get on the internet and say things. Like you got to be able to confirm what you're saying is correct.
Definitely, definitely. So, what would you say some of the types of financial resources you've used that has helped you in your financial journey?
So for me at least, it kind of depends on what exactly I'm doing or what exactly I'm trying to learn at that moment. So if I'm trying to learn like a new concept, um, and just get like a basic understanding of it, or I'm just diving into it for the first time. A lot of the times it'll be like on YouTube. I just look it up, watch a video, watch a few videos on it to get a base understanding on it and go from there. If I'm trying to learn something entirely new, or if there's like a new strategy, or if there's like a whole like a vast concept I'm trying to learn, it's probably a book. So like maybe I'm learning how to trade a different way, or maybe I'm learning a different way to manage my finances. It's probably like a book. And then if there's also a topic, maybe I'm not exactly not trying to learn, but I just want to listen to something similar around it. It's probably like YouTube or a podcast. So like with that, I think of like mindset or like psychology or just like hearing other people talk about topics which I'm not too familiar with or I'm not an expert in, and just hearing other people talk about this. So it might not be a specific concept within the topic. It might just be like, I want to hear about AI. So I'm going to listen to an AI podcast.
hmm
So those are like the main three sources that I'm using nowadays. What about you?
Books for sure. I think books because when it comes to books, I prefer like reading books
Hmm.
because it's more intentional. You're setting time aside to kind of put effort into learning something new, like you said, like
Hmm.
a new concept. So you're putting time aside to dedicate to learning something. So books is definitely a good resource that I've used to learn things financially. Podcasts, this is integral in my everyday life. Like I won't even lie because I listen to podcasts like on my free time, like when in the gym, when I'm going to work, when I'm
Hmm.
driving. So podcasts are really a good
Would you
one.
say you're addicted to podcasts? It's a safe space.
I wouldn't say addicted, but I like whenever I have some free time, I like listening to something like I can learn from or I can get more information
If
from.
you're driving somewhere, you can't drive until the podcast is playing.
You know, I would drive, but I'll either listen to music. I mean, it just depends on my mood. Like if I
Gotcha.
want to listen, if I want to drive in silence, like if I want to think, I'll probably drive in silence. But
Gotcha.
if I'm not doing no thinking, I just want to like hear something
I
educational, I'll
gotcha. I
definitely
gotcha.
put a
I
podcast
gotcha.
on. I want.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just curious.
But yeah, so podcast is a good one for sure that I would say I've used consistently. And then just like doing research on my own. So some like using websites to do research, just to fact check things. That's another good resource that I've used consistently throughout my financial journey.
Hmm.
And honestly, just real life, going through experiences myself. They say experience is the best teacher.
Hmm.
So just going through experiences, learning from my mistakes, incorporating those lessons, and then just trying to make better decisions. So I'll say experience, real life experience is another resource as well.
Um, that's solid. I think websites and real life experiences are two like kind of slept on, but really integral or important parts, sources of information to add to the
No,
three
definitely,
previously
definitely.
mentioned.
Okay, so now I want us to kind of give the people more detail into these resources that we use. So,
Hmm.
starting off with books, what would you say one book has helped you change your mindset when it comes to finances?
I think for me, I would say a book that was really like integral for me or really important for me was the first financial book I read. And this would be Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think a lot of people probably say similar things about this book. Like this is one of the first books they read, and it opened their mind up to so many things. Because the author Robert Kiyosaki, he basically just he wrote a book and he divided it his two different perspectives. One is when he's talking to his rich dad, and one he's talking to his poor dad. And I think the main takeaways from that book is it just shows you the power of network information and just like opportunity.
Exposure.
Exposure is what I was
Yeah.
looking to say.
hmm
Exposure, because like with his rich dad, he's able to see people who look at money differently, who are in situations where money may not matter as much because of how they manage it, or they're making so much money or they're investing so much money. Whereas his poor dad doesn't think about money that way. And because he hasn't had that exposure. He doesn't have that network of people with money in similar ways to the rich dad. It's like that mindset you
It's
just want.
not there.
It's not
Yeah.
there. It's not
Hmm.
there. So like it really just
It's
opens
like
your mind.
more closed-minded.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And you know, like you don't know what you don't know. And
exactly.
it's just that's simply kind of what the book is. It's just showing it really just opens your mind up to like the possibilities of with money and how you can manage your money and how you can grow over time. So
Okay.
I think Rich Dad Poor Dad was a really good starter book for me.
No, yeah, I'll say like I've read it as well, so I'll say it's definitely like a good starter book for
Mhm.
sure because it takes you from that whatever mindset you might have of money. Like most times, like a lot of people that are just getting into finances don't really have a vast like network when it comes to money,
Mhm.
and it just like shows you that there's a lot more that you can learn when you increase your network, like
Yeah.
just of people that have made money the way that you want to or have had success in the areas that you want to as well. So that's just like another thing that
Mhm.
that book definitely provides or gives you knowledge on
Mhm.
for sure. I'll say mine is that's been integral just starting my financial journey was Psychology of Money. So with this book, it really just shows that the way that we spend money is really psychological. Like the core of it is more psychological. Like we can have systems of how money should be spent, but if you don't have the right psychology as to what you should do with your money, you're not going to follow the systems really because it's really just human nature. You're going to do what seems right to you. So within the book, there are like different stories that just shows how people related to money psychologically. So you can have people that grew up with money, people that were not exposed to money growing up, and that later affected how their psychology when it came to money. So it just lets you know that if you want to manage your money properly, if you want to do what's right with changing your behavior when it comes to money. So because each person has some reason as to why they justify
Mhm.
spending money the way they did.
Yep.
But if you're not adjusting your behavior where that psychology should make sense, you're not going to be making the right decision. So it just tells you that you want to make sure you're having the right psychology when it comes to money. And that's pretty much like what I learned from that book as well. Because I would say so for me personally, I try to be more what's the word that you say? I'm more conservative when it comes to like how I spend
That's
money.
not the word I use, but we can go with it.
Not conservative, but more I say safe. Okay, safe or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I make more like safe investment. And that's really just like, okay, that's something I've learned. Like that's my psychology where
Mm.
like I don't necessarily like put money at risk, but I had to like notice that in myself when I'm trying to make decisions. So just knowing like what kind of psychology you have when it comes to money is important. And then that way you can kind of make adjustments, you can make decisions a lot better that can benefit you moving on in life.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah.
Psychology of Money is a really good read. I read that book a little bit late. I wish I had read it earlier, but it's a really good read. And like you said, it just talks about why people, the reason why people spend money they do, or the reason why people make the decisions they do, is based off of their experiences with money, and there's nothing you can really do about it until you acknowledge it. So Psychology of Money is a really good book. I think really like those two books are probably essentials. Like if you're serious about finances,
They're like starters,
yeah, for
like
sure. Like
starter 101
if you want to
books.
start from somewhere about money and finances, it's like you should start with those two books or books that are similar. Like if it's not Rich Dad Poor Dad, that EYL book, You Deserve to Be Rich, is a similar. It's a
Hmm.
book that's very similar to
Yeah.
that, and I think that like either of those with Psychology of Money puts you in a very good place. All right, so moving on from books, I think another good source for financial information or just people talking about finance is podcasts. So let us know some of the podcasts or maybe one of the podcasts you listen to that you think would be a good one for people to listen to, or at least it works for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I have a couple. So I'll say the first one is Diary of a CEO. So this is not necessarily a finance podcast. It's more of I'll say it's a mindset podcast for me. So pretty much you have the host Stephen Bartlett and he brings on experts in their fields to talk about their field pretty much. So
Hmm.
he's had people like Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank talking about business. He's had like AI experts come on their show and it's pretty much just learning from these people, from the questions that he asks. I feel like it's really interesting just to see how these people have made their fortune, have been successful in life, and kind of implementing that into my everyday life. So that's one I highly recommend people check out. Another one is Money for Couples by Ramit Sethi. So this is actually a finance podcast. So pretty much he interviews couples that have requested to be on their show because they're having some type of money issues. And so he pretty much breaks down their finances and touches on areas of where they can improve, and it just gives you a broader perspective as to the different money issues people have, because none of the interviews he has are the same. They're all people having different money issues. And so it just shows you that your problem is different from the other person's problem, and then how you can better make decisions so you're not, you don't fall into that trap as well.
Yeah.
And then I'll say the last one for me is Meet Kevin. So he does specifically um videos on the economy or finance. He does videos on the economy in general. So anything that has to do with stocks or the government or finances, he just gives his perspectives on that. And then from there, you can kind of learn from his analysis. You can learn from things that he share and just kind of implement that into your strategy as well. So it just gives you a broader perspective as to what's going on into the economy.
Yeah. I think those are really solid. Just like we're talking about financial sources, but like the first one you mentioned, Diary of a CEO, I think those type of podcasts are really important too, because it's like mindset. It keeps you in that mindset.
For sure, for
If
sure.
you're trying to do better with your money, or if you're trying to learn more, like it's not always about the education per se. Sometimes just the mindset and just hearing those type of conversations. Like there might not be a specific thing you learn every episode or a specific concept, but because you're hearing it, it's reinforcing
It's
the things
reinforcing things
that
that
you're
are already
already
ahead.
thinking.
Yeah. It
Exactly.
just, I feel like I said, like this year I'm locked in. Like I'm motivated because
Yeah.
like listening to things like this, it just shows you there's more to, like, you
Mhm.
can be doing more pretty much.
You can always be doing
You
more.
can be doing more. That's
You
pretty
know,
much what it is.
Dangote still they find money.
Facts, bro. Facts.
Dangote, richest black man in the world, still trying to get richer. So nothing's stopping us. For me, for podcasts, I mean, these two guys on YouTube, they started this podcast named Common Sense. They've been really good at recent. Shameless plug.
Facts.
But aside from Common Sense, I think the ones I watch a lot, I watch EYL, Earn Your Leisure, a
Earn Your
lot.
Leisure for
I
sure.
watch Wall Street
Yep.
Trapper a lot. So Earn Your Leisure, they do Market Mondays, and they interview guests, and Wall Street Trap, he does Trapping Tuesdays. So like similar to what Umar mentioned, like they're really good for mindset because they reinforce a lot of the things that you want to hear or that you're already thinking or things that are in your mind, but they're also very informational. Like the access that those EYL guys have is crazy. Like the people they bring onto the shows, the people they have conversations with is crazy. I mean, I don't know the count, but they've had a few billionaires on their show.
No, yeah, for sure.
Maybe like, let's say the number is 5. They've met 5 billionaires. I haven't even sniffed one.
No.
I don't know no billionaires.
No, and it's crazy. I mean, like, cause I mean, I think we kind of started listening to them at the same time. So seeing like where they
growth.
like their growth over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
It's been interesting for sure.
It's interesting. That's what we're trying to do with Common Sense.
Yeah,
We need y'all to help us get there.
Yeah, for sure. So like EYL, Earn Your Leisure, and Trapping Tuesdays, Market Mondays, those are stuff I listen to like religiously. I think a lot of people listen to those religiously. But like outside of those two, one that I really like listening to is this guy. I don't even know his name, honestly, but his channel is called Clear Value Tax on YouTube. I don't think he's ever mentioned his name. He just goes on there and talks about the economy and stuff. So he talks about anything going on in the economy. So like,
is it like faceless or like you can see him?
His face is on there.
Oh, okay.
His face is on there, but he just, I mean, I guess
Never said his name.
he never interviews nobody, so there's his name just doesn't come up. But like when things like the presidency come into question, or like rates come into question, or like when gold is going high, anything going on in the economy and the stock market, just he talks about these things, and he does a really good job of giving an unbiased opinion on how he feels about these things.
Okay.
So like he does state his opinion sometimes, like he'll tell you, in my opinion, whatever, but what he does is he just puts the facts and the information out, and I really appreciate that because he's not selling you nothing. He's not pushing you to think a certain way. He's just putting the information out there for you to make your own decisions. So I
Gotcha.
like fair
Okay.
value tax a lot. Um, and then another person I watched is this guy named Brett Invest on YouTube. He's a part of the Honey Drip Network with Aristotle. So I believe he's one of the admins in there. But he does his own personal YouTube channel, and what I watch him for particularly is for trading. So during the week or during the weekends, I put together, I do my charting and everything, and then every morning before I start trading, you want to look at the market and see what's going on that morning. So when I, mark my charts up, I have my biases for the day. I watch his video afterwards just to see because I think he sees the market similar to how I see it, or I see the market similar to him, however you want to phrase that.
Yeah.
Um, so when I see alignment between what I'm thinking of doing for that day and what he's thinking of doing for that day, just give me a little
That
bit
kind of
more confidence.
reinforces
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So like I like watching his channel because like it helps reinforce it, give me a little bit more confidence in some of the trades I'm looking to take that day.
Cool, cool.
So those are the ones for me.
No, yeah, I think that's a solid list, like, between the both of us. Like, we've given you podcasts that can help, like, with your mindset, or if it's podcasts that talk about money, like
Hmm.
from Diary CEO, Money for Couples. Then EYL, I listen to EYL all the time as well. So, like, there are Market Mondays, there are Blackout Wednesdays. I would listen
Hmm.
to that as well. So, between that, those are definitely good resources. And if you're just looking for news about the economy, like we said, Clear Value Tax is a good one. Me, Kevin is a good
Me,
one.
Kevin. Yeah.
But yeah, so like we said, like these are not like we're not telling you like these are the only resources you can listen to, but these are what has worked for us.
Yeah.
And like we've given you like a couple of them. So really just find what resonates with you the most and that what you can add to your everyday
Mhm.
like routine. Like I'm pretty sure you find some type of value from these resources for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So we've talked about books, we've talked about podcasts. If we're doing our own research to try and fact check things, what are some of the resources that you use to, okay, you've heard of something from a podcast, but you want to do your own research, your own due diligence. What resources are you using to do that?
Yeah. So with this one, if I'm looking for like data, if I'm looking for information, if I'm doing some type of research, there's a good amount of websites I use, but like
Mm,
my main ones I would say are Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance, you can look at companies' balance sheets, you can look at anything, find the information on a company, anything from company size to market cap to how much they made this year, their revenue, their profits. Um, you can look at their financial statements as a whole. You can just look at the stock tickers. If I'm charting, if I'm trying to look at a stock's movement, I'm on TradingView. TradingView has information and news as well, which is useful, but I mostly use TradingView just for looking at stock charts.
charts, yeah.
Um, Guru Focus is a good one. It's very informational. Um, and then a sleeper for me kinda is government websites. So I
Mm,
go on government websites, I won't say a lot, but when I need to look something up regarding the government. So like recently I've been on government websites looking into QE, quantitative easing and quantitative tightening, because I'm looking at the history of when it's happened in the past, what did the government do? So right now the government is buying $40 billion worth of bonds every month. So I went on their websites and I'm looking at what happened in the past. How much money did it put into the market? What effect did that have? How long did it last? And just look, it goes back to getting information from the horse's mouth. It's like I'm getting this from the government website, like
mm.
I expect it to be correct. If not, I mean, I can find it somewhere else. But just going to their website and seeing things that have happened in the past is it's good for my own personal research. So those are some good ones for me.
Oh, that's like okay. Like the government website is an interesting one. I haven't done that. So
Mhm.
it's specifically like what website in general?
So it depends on what you're looking for. Like the
Okay.
same way, like if you have student loans, there's like
Government
studentloan.gov.
student loan.
It's
Okay,
like
okay.
those type of things. So
Gotcha,
like
gotcha,
the
gotcha.
IRS has a website. If you want to look in things
Makes
with
sense.
taxes, I can't think of the one I went to recently because I was recently exposed to it. But the government has different websites
Gotcha,
for different
gotcha.
things. So you
Makes
just
sense,
look it
makes
up
sense.
and it'll direct you.
Okay. No, that's a good one. That's a good one for sure. I'll say like you said, like Yahoo Finance, CNBC, these are just good resources just to see what's happening
Hmm.
in the economy, what's happening financially. So you can see news about particular stocks, you can see news about like financial markets. But yeah, that's pretty much like my go-to initially when I just wanted to get financial news. Another one is bar chart. So this is more if I wanted to do like technical analysis on stocks. There's a
Mhm,
lot more detail when it comes to the stocks. So you can like deep dive into that. You can see like what the resistance level is. You can see what support level is. And there's even more technical analysis that
mhm,
are available on these kind of websites. So bar chart is a go on for sure. And then just to like fact check things, Investopedia is a good resource as well. So I think like last year, Investopedia was one of like the top financial websites that people used to go
mhm,
to get to fact check things. So I know like even like when the whole tariff situation was big this year, I went on there just to understand what tariffs are in general and to have a better understanding as well. But yeah, another one like a sleeper for me, honestly, is ChatGPT. So I use ChatGPT a lot. So really, I have like a whole page on my ChatGPT for just investing. So pretty much whenever I have questions about investing, about finances, where I don't really want to do like in-depth research, I can really just ask ChatGPT and it provides the information for me, and it also cites like the websites that it uses to provide that information, so I know that it's accurate. So it's not just like a summary where
mhm,
it's just providing like a blob of information. It's more just citing that, and then if I'm more curious about that, I can click on those websites to kind of take me. I can click on those links to take me to a website to get more information on that. So ChatGPT honestly is solid. I know like everyone is kind of skeptical about AI, but AI is real and it's really helpful.
and it's here to stay.
It's here to stay. So I think just finding ways to incorporate that into your everyday life is helpful as well.
I would correct one thing there though.
What's that?
You're not using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is using you.
What? What?
It's using you.
No, I disagree. My
ChatGPT is using all of us.
is I mean,
It's getting smarter. I
it
mean,
is getting
I
smarter.
didn't mean that in an offensive way. I was just being funny. But ChatGPT is using all of us to get smarter.
I mean, yeah, it's like everything we provided, like we have given OpenAI access to use the data we provide it. So
The point I was trying to get at is that, like, you know, when you use something, eventually you throw it away. So ChatGPT is just using us till it don't just no more.
that's another conspiracy theory. That's a rabbit hole we don't want to talk about this
Yeah,
episode.
we'll get there one day.
But yeah, so I think but yeah, with that, I think those are like solid resources that we've mentioned that we use to
Hmm.
fact check, stay up to date with current events and just become more knowledgeable when it comes to finances and money as a whole.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Those were ChatGPT was a good one because like it's not like a first thought when you're thinking of a website, but it has become that.
I know it
Has
is
become
for
that for
sure,
sure.
for sure.
Like you mentioned, like if I'm trying to find something out really quick and I don't feel like doing any work, all you gotta do is a fire prompt will take you all the way.
No, yeah.
It'll
And
take you all
you
the
know
way.
what's even crazy? I'll even like put my idea and I'll be like, refine this
Yeah,
to a
for sure.
prompt.
For sure. Exactly.
I'll be like,
And then you put the prompt
and
in
then put
there.
the prompt in ChatGPT.
Yeah, yes, look at it. We're giving you lessons on how to use AI now. We have to have a master class.
Knowing how to use AI is very important.
It's important.
It's
It's
very
very
important
important.
right now.
It's one thing asking ChatGPT a question is different from prompting it, and you know the results you get is different. But cool. I mean, moving on from those, I think I think another way to look at like resources and well, not even resources, but just sources of information and where you're getting your information or how you're learning things. You can look at like real life scenarios as like a big thing as well. Like you said earlier, the best teacher is life or real life, however you said it. I don't know it. Whatever it is. Experience is the best teacher. That's what I'm trying to say. The experience is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. So like going through real life experience, whether by yourself or with other people, or just the experience of having a conversation with a friend or
Hmm.
just like being in groups with people, you know, those are really important as well. You want to speak to like just real life experiences or just communities or groups you've been
Yeah,
a
for
part of?
sure, for sure. I mean, like, I think in our first episode when we are kind of doing our introduction, I talked about how my first introduction to finance was like a group of my friends in college.
Hmm.
And so like that was really integral in getting me to where I am today because that made me make decisions at that point in time I probably wouldn't have made I wouldn't have made without them. So
Hmm.
having a group of friends, having a community where you can talk about finances, it just makes it makes the journey a lot easier because one, you know you're not on this journey by yourself. if you have questions, you know the people to do like more research or find new people you can ask these questions, and it just lets you know that um you're not the only one thinking this way, especially like when it comes to like managing your money. You're not the only one thinking about how can I be better with money, how can I be better with my finances. You have a whole group of people that you can collaborate with, you can share ideas, you can share experiences with, and then that's really important on this financial journey because it's not always going to be smooth sailing. Like you're going to lose money, going to be confused, you're not going to
Yep.
know everything right away.
Mhm.
But if you have a good community around you, that's really important to get you there, to get you to where you want to be, or just to continue that journey for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like having that gym bro, like the person you start in the gym with who is like, when you
Facts.
don't want to do an extra set, he's helping you do
He's
that
there.
set.
Yep.
When you fail, he's the one that motivates you that, you'll get it next time. And just
Hmm.
like being in those type of communities with finances are really important as well. So
Yeah. hundred
I
percent.
agree.
Hundred
Uh,
percent.
um, I've had like experience in different communities from like different people. So like some of the podcasts we mentioned earlier, I've been a part of their communities and just some
Okay.
other people. And one thing I just always do is if I'm in a community, I'm trying to learn what I can from while I'm there. Because me personally, I'm not gonna be there forever. Because you got to pay for all of them.
Oh yeah, the one you have to
This is what
pay
I'm talking about. I'm
for.
talking about the
Yeah.
pay ones. Like the free ones, I'm there, but like the
Yeah.
ones you got to pay for, like I just know I'm not gonna be there forever.
Hmm.
So I'm learning what I can while I'm there, and I'm just getting what I can, and then when I leave, I'm gone. So yeah, but a little bit on the real life thing is that like there's nothing like going through an experience and
Yeah.
just like
For sure. For sure.
learning from it. Just like the things you go through in your own personal life, you can never, I mean, you can forget, but those cuts are a lot deeper than
Yeah.
like the other ones. Like, um, they say a wise man learns from a smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. But sometimes you're not always given the opportunity to learn from others. Sometimes you have to
You have
go
to
through
make
this
those
stuff.
mistakes yourself.
Yeah,
So
you
yeah.
have to go through them yourself. You have to experience these things yourself. So like, just going through life experiences are really important. And then like, even like now, like going from high school to college to the real world, you can tell people who have not been through life-changing scenarios or life experiences in certain things because you can tell based on how they talk or their experiences on certain things, and they're really important. So I'm not telling you to go out there and experience life and let life whoop you, but like life experiences
It's
are really important.
No, it's very important. Like you said, I think you learn the most when you go through something. Like
Hmm.
ideally, like it's cool to like gather knowledge, gather information from all these like podcasts, these
Yeah.
websites that we mentioned, but if you're not applying them to your everyday life, you're not necessarily going to like learn from that.
Hmm.
The only way you can really learn is if you're actually applying it and you can see either the wins or the losses, and hopefully you'll learn from those losses to
Hmm.
make the wins a lot better. It just goes back to like investing. Like if you're just like sitting on knowledge, like if you're just sitting on knowledge for years and years and years, not necessarily applying it, not opening that brokerage account to invest, there's nothing to show for it really. Like you're not you're not making money, you're not getting any type of experience. You're just sitting on that information, and then that can prevent you from getting like 2 years of return,
Hmm.
if you had applied that knowledge into the financial market.
Yeah.
So definitely real life experience is one of the we can't do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. So that's
Yeah.
one of the resources that's very vital
Hmm.
um to doing something with your financial journey for sure.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we didn't really touch on, and it's kind of relates to real life experiences, is when it comes to like sources and stuff, is like getting the information from the horse's mouth. So like, um, when the Fed chair speaks, when Donald Trump speaks, when the CEO of a company you're invested speaks in, when they're having their earnings calls, like hearing those things live for yourself, it just gives you a different perspective because it allows you to have your own opinions.
Mm,
You're not going off of what someone told you. You're going off of what exactly you heard on that call, and you're formulating your opinions from that. And I think those are really important because if you're invested in something or if you're tied to something, you want to hear it from the horse's mouth. You don't want to just watch a video where someone is doing a deep a
giving their
breakdown.
own opinion about
Exactly,
it.
because you
Yeah.
don't know where that person heard it from. That person might have watched a video. So now you're watching a video of someone who watched a
Watch it.
video. So who actually heard the guy say what he said? And it's just a one big game of telephone.
Yeah, like a game of telephone for
So it's really
sure.
good to like, put yourself in those situations to where you're getting information from the horse's mouth.
No, yeah, like I think that's a good one because that's something I do as well. Like for stocks that I own or like options that I own,
Mm,
I typically listen to the earnings
you
call
have
just
to.
to get like a better information as the
Mhm.
direction of the stock is heading. So
Yep.
if it's not something that sounds favorable,
Encouraging.
encouraging,
Mhm.
I most likely might be
Get
selling
out of
that
there.
stock or
Yep.
selling that option. So yeah, so definitely earnings call is a big one. The Fed meeting is a big one. Just
Mhm.
being able to make your own opinion from that information
Mhm.
that you're
Mhm.
receiving.
Yep, yep. And that's really the basis of this whole conversation is being able to get sources and information from different places so that you can formulate your own opinions
Yep.
because everyone invests or handles money differently. So you should be able to have your own opinion so you can manage your money, your investments your own
Your
way.
own way.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. So now that me and Umar are done jinxing each other, let's move on to our favorite section of the show. Is it making sense? So I will present you with a scenario and you will let me know if it's making sense or not.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Get in there.
We'll pause. God.
So you just watched a TikTok. It has over 2 million views,
Okay.
so many likes and comments. Everyone loves it. It's a new strategy on how to make money in 2026. So you decided that since it has so many views, you're just going to follow it and get your money up in 2026. Is it making sense or not?
Nah. I mean, I think we've done a good job with providing you with financial resources throughout this episode. So, I mean, TikTok could be a resource, but we've also said that you have to do your due diligence as well. And so we've provided a bunch of websites, a bunch of resources that you can do some type of due diligence, at least to get a better information as to what you're listening to. Again, like now that AI is very prominent on TikTok, you never know how legit a video can be. So
Mm-hmm.
making sure that even if you've seen that a lot of people, like you said, 2 million views, do some type of due diligence before you follow anything that you're listening to because you never know exactly you never know the motive behind it. Like this can be someone just trying to lure you into spending money into something you shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
And so definitely do some type of due diligence. But yeah, it's not making sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think I keep it short and sweet. It's just like just do your due diligence. It might be legit, but just make sure you do some research on it to make sure it is legit. I mean, a few years ago, a lot of us fell trapped to the Bitcoin mining. Do you remember that?
Wait, no. Are you talking about this stuff?
In 2020, 2021, everyone fell victim to Bitcoin mining.
I didn't follow it.
You didn't fall victim. I did.
Bitcoin mining.
You don't remember that. I remember it. It was a time.
No, the one I remember is the NFTs.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I didn't do NFTs either, but I know NFTs was a big one.
I knew that was some BS.
They say it was a Picasso.
Hey man, it might come back, but that's NFTs is not my bag.
No, yeah.
That's not my bag. It might come back. There might be value in it, but when I saw people spending $1 million on stuff that looks like bathing ape, I said, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. But yeah, nah, it's not making sense.
Yeah, not making sense. Okay, glad we agree on that one. Okay, another one. Let me give you one. So, someone after listening to an episode of Common Sense decided that it was time to put money into their brokerage account. So they made a recurring deposit into their brokerage account and decided to start buying ETFs from listening to our episodes. Is that making sense or not?
It's making a lot of sense, honestly. Now, the next step now is for them to do some research and make sure they're investing in decent companies. But what this person has done is taking the first step, and the first step is the hardest one.
Yeah.
You made the brokerage account. You have a recurring deposit. It's $50. The amount doesn't really matter. What matters is that you've made investing seamless for you.
Yeah.
This person doesn't have to think about the money. The money is there. It's just where am I going to put the money? So I think that is making a lot of sense. And over time, hopefully, as this person sees their account grow and they learn more about investing, they'll increase that $50 to 100, and from 100 to 200, and then wherever the sky's the limit at that point. But the biggest thing is that you want to invest continuously. You want to invest for a long time, and you want investing to be seamless or effortless for you.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I think, like you said, taking that first step is the hardest one. So they've already felt comfortable with putting $50 into their brokerage account. And so now the next step is really, okay, what can they invest in? But like you said, they're not just like sitting on the information that they listen to from our podcast. They're applying that information into investing into ETFs, into
Mhm.
stocks, and just making sure that they're gaining some type of information. They're gaining some type of experience, and they're making money from it as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I think that's definitely making sense. We want everyone that's listening to this episode, if you haven't opened a brokerage account, definitely go open one and start investing
For
as soon
sure.
as possible. All right, so next up we have economic events. It's a new year. What are we looking? What is our perspective on the market going into the new year? What are some things that we should be wary about, or we should take notice from our financial expert here?
Funny. So I mean, we saw that there was a rate cut at the end of the year.
Yeah,
That we didn't get to talk about that because we
because
didn't.
I was on vacation. Okay,
Yeah.
I was on vacation.
I mean, you said it, not me. I wasn't going to bring no light to it, but yeah, you were on vacation. So I
Uh,
mean, how'd you feel about that?
So we got a 0.25% interest rate cut, but I think we already knew that we're getting some type of rate cut. We just didn't know like what as to what extent.
Hmm.
And I think the 0.25, like you said, is already baked into the economy. So there wasn't much effect as to I mean it wasn't much effect that was happening in the market. I
Yeah.
think we saw a slight increase.
It
How we
was it
say?
was just choppy. Now looking at it back,
I
look.
mean, I
Yeah.
think the day of there was some type of like big like a jump in stocks
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
but
At that time.
and then we got a pullback from people
Hmm.
selling as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so nothing really changed in the market because it was already factored in. But I think just going into 2026, I'm interested to see like how many rate cuts they're going to be getting, especially since we're getting the new Fed chair as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you said, the 25% rate cut, it wasn't much. We were expecting it. So we'll see what they do in 2026. They say we're only going to get one or maybe two, but I don't know. With this Fed chair changing, I think there's something there. So Jerome Powell, who's our current Fed pres, will be relieved of his position. Well, he'll be ending his tenure in, I think, April or May.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still going to be a part of the board in the Fed, but he's just not going to be the Fed president anymore. So we'll have to see about our new Fed chair. I think there's a few candidates like Kevin Hassett, Kevin Walsh, and some guy, something Waller. Personally, I think Kevin Hassett is probably the person we don't want to see, but he's also the person that's in most support of cutting rates, and he seems to be the leading candidate. But I think he's the least qualified of the three of them. But we'll see.
Interesting.
The other two guys have been on the Fed board, I believe, at some point or held Fed positions. So we'll see how it goes. But I think whoever steps into the office is probably going to be pushed to cut rates just in support of the current administration. The Fed is an independent entity, so the president technically cannot tell the Fed chair to cut rates, but I think because of these people's affiliations with the president, it's likely that it happens. So we'll just have to see what happens, and hopefully it doesn't shake up the whole world and shake up the U.S. economy, but let's just watch and see.
At this point, we need some shakeup, I think, because right now we are in. I don't feel like there's a set direction as to where we're going with the market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, unless we know like how many rate cuts we're getting, or like you said, or who the Fed chair is going to be, we don't
Yeah.
really know what direction the market.
Going off of December, yeah, I agree with that. But like into the new year, you never know. I mean, like they say, I mean, the first 5 days of January is usually a good indicator for how the year will go.
Okay.
So two things that you can use to like see how this year will go. The first 5 days of January and January as a whole. So I actually put together like a bit of research I've been doing, and I'm probably going to publish it. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to put it somewhere so people can have access to it. But like the first 5 days of January is a good indicator for how the year will go. And the whole month of January is also another good indicator. So usually if the first 5 days of January are green and January is green as a whole, there's like a 60 or 70% chance the year will be green, and vice versa, whether it's red or not too. So keep an eye on the first few days of January. And the other thing too is like we're in the second year of of our president's administration, and the first 2 years are usually the worst. And last year wasn't too bad, so I don't know. This year could be really bad. Second year is usually when bear markets start. Is when wars happen. So we just have to keep an eye out for that. Like we could be going to war anytime soon. So
you never know. Exactly, you never know with this administration.
Never know. So last year was a warm up. We'll see how this year goes.
Okay. Well, I think just to summarize what Dami has told us what's going on, I think just being on the lookout for the direction the direction the market is going to look this year is what we want to do. So if you have some type of buying power, make sure you're adding to that, kind of waiting for the right moment to utilize that. And if you wanna sell some stocks that are still high, probably do that as well, just to get some type until like we know for certain like what direction we are.
Taking profit is never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing.
It's never a bad thing.
But yeah, so I think with that we've come to the end of this episode. So for this, we kind of went over all the financial resources that we've used personally throughout our financial journey. So going from books, we mentioned Rich Dad Poor Dad, Psychology of Money. Those are two good starter books to start off, especially with the new year. That you can just buy off of Amazon, read on your downtime, an hour a day. That's not too crazy. But yeah.
Nobody's reading an hour a day these days.
I mean...
30 minutes or something.
30 minutes a day. Okay, start somewhere. 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. And then podcasts that you can just incorporate into your everyday lives. We talked about the websites or resources that we use to fact check things, and just also surrounding yourself with the right people to have these conversations with. So communities like this, like our Common Sense family, Discords that you can be a part of.
Common Sense Discord on the way. 2026.
2026.
It's
yes.
coming. We're just waiting for the right moment, but trust us, we've already put the thoughts into it. It's coming.
For sure. But yeah, so I think we've kind of like given people enough resources where they can start off the year right, making their decisions when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Any closing words?
No, thanks for sticking with us again today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all socials, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for your time.
Well, thanks for listening to Common Sense. We're all trying to make sense of our sense. Thank you.
See you on the next one.
Peace.